even started to question God's timing. But God was not silent. He was preparing to reveal his power not just to Israel or to Egypt, but to the entire world. The confrontation between heaven and empire was about to begin. The Lord told Moses, "I have made you like God to Pharaoh, and your brother Aaron will be your prophet." He warned them that Pharaoh would harden his heart, but through that very stubbornness, God would unleash signs and wonders across Egypt. God's goal was clear. The Egyptians will know that I am the Lord when I stretch out my hand and bring my people out from among them. This wasn't just about deliverance. It was about revelation. So Moses and Aaron stood before Pharaoh once more. At God's command, Aaron threw down his staff, and it became a serpent. Pharaoh, unimpressed, called his own magicians. They used their secret arts, and their staffs also turned into serpents. But then something incredible happened. Aaron's serpent swallowed theirs. This was a prophetic sign. God's kingdom will always devour every false power. Still, Pharaoh saw this miracle and hardened his heart even more. The first plague began. God commanded Aaron to stretch his staff over the Nile River. Instantly, the very source of Egypt's life, their symbol of power and national pride, turned into blood. The fish died, the river stank, and the people couldn't drink the water. Egypt was thrown into chaos, but Pharaoh's heart remained like stone. He just turned away, completely unmoved by the suffering of his own people. Next, God warned, "If you refuse to let my people go, I will plague your land with frogs." And the frogs came. They swarmed into homes, into beds, into ovens, even into the royal palace. Overwhelmed, Pharaoh finally begged Moses, "Pray to the Lord to take the frogs away, and I will let the people go." So Moses prayed, and the frogs died. But as soon as he had relief, Pharaoh broke his promise. Again, his word was empty, and his heart was hard. Then came the third plague. Aaron struck the dust of the ground, and it turned into swarms of gnats that covered every person and animal. This time, Pharaoh's magicians tried to replicate the miracle, but they couldn't. They turned to Pharaoh and admitted, "This is the finger of God." But Pharaoh refused to listen. Even when his own spiritual advisors told him the battle was lost, his pride wouldn't let him yield. These first plagues weren't random acts of chaos. Each one was a direct attack on an Egyptian god. The Nile god was defeated when the water turned to blood. The frog goddess was shamed by an overwhelming plague of frogs. The earth god was humbled when dust became a torment. God was systematically dismantling Egypt's entire belief system, revealing himself as the one true and living God. This story teaches us that sometimes God has to dismantle the idols in our own lives before he can bring deliverance. It shows how a hard heart can blind us to even the most obvious truths, and it reminds us that no matter how strong an earthly kingdom seems, anything built on pride is destined to fall.